Rambling.
Hello and welcome back to the Remembering Tuscola webcast. David Porter, I'm here with Mike Carroll and Bill Englehardt, back after a week off.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, we've been sitting here since last Thursday.
Yeah. It's
I forgot to tell them.
I know. We kept waiting to get ringed
yeah.
up.
We're waiting on that call.
Yeah. We've eaten probably 40 meals just
I
sitting there.
guess just sitting here.
Well, I was afraid if I told you I was leaving town, you would help offer to pack my bags for me.
Hmm.
Well, we do think you could have taken your computer with you and we could have done this on the road.
We could have, but that would have been difficult because on Thursday I was driving.
Hmm.
Well, she can chip in.
How's the
Uh,
traffic out there?
It wasn't bad till we got to Baltimore. It took long. Well, we stayed in Kensington, Maryland, 2 nights, and once we got to Baltimore, it took us longer to get to our hotel than it took us to get from Kensington to Baltimore.
Yeah. And you did try and find my mom's house where she lived with my dad in World War II.
I looked everywhere.
Yeah. This is right off Blair Street. There's a gas station there.
Hmm.
Second house in, there's another gas station across the street. I mean, anybody should be able to find that.
Yeah.
Anybody should.
Anybody should. I
Yeah.
tried.
Yeah. So we had a nice time. We went to a dance party and at a glass blowing uh, location and watched them make a glass bowl.
Hmm.
But they don't have stuff like that in Tuscola.
Monticello has glass blowing.
They don't have a dance there.
Mhm. No, that's right. Mhm.
You
Yeah.
got glass blowing in Monticello?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fire. What's it called? Fire or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, right across the street from the Brown Bag. Really good stuff. They fire it. They got a couple of kilns right there. He'll fire glass. You can watch him do it.
Mhm.
What was that
Yeah.
called, Becky?
Fire.
Fire something.
uh, Seriously.
Becky's gonna look it up for us, Dave. Can we hold for about 5 minutes?
What watching people blow glass makes you want to do it yourself.
Well, I'm always worried about sucking in instead of blowing out. You wind up melting your throat.
Yeah. You only do that once.
That doesn't take more than once to melt your throat.
Doesn't take more than once.
Well, good. Is Eric Adams okay? He doing well?
Retired, living the dream.
What's he doing retired so you're early?
I guess because he could.
He's not on Social Security yet. All of us, Bill and I had to wait for Social Security, Medicare,
Prairie fire glass.
Prairie Fireglass.
Very fiberglass. Well,
Thank
my
you.
wife's retired.
That way back, they've
She's
had
same age.
commercials on TV.
Yeah, it's a good. There's some neat stuff. We bought some stuff there. It's very high class. We have some
So
Christmas ornaments, in fact.
Yeah, they're cool.
Should we begin our Christmas ornaments out, hon?
Yeah, pretty soon.
Okay.
pretty soon, right after Thanksgiving. All right.
Ready to
Well,
fly?
anything else?
Mm. We're ready.
You're ready for pictures?
Yeah, our brain. We've had 2 week rest. I don't
No,
know.
no.
We'll probably just
We
we'll
made
we'll get everyone right.
We got a lot of pictures, and these are just random pictures. These were negatives that I found in the bottom of a box, so they were unsorted. So I don't know anything about them.
How'd the public do? I
it's
wonder.
like a game show.
Yeah, that's exactly
No,
right.
I got one gal right on
Oh, that's Mrs.
Duval.
Skinner.
No, that's not Duval.
I think that looks like Larry Skinner's mother.
I don't think so. I think she ran the store in downtown Tuscola, Duval's.
I remember her, but she always dressed in black.
So you think it's I know Larry Skinner's mother looks a little bit like her, but I think
Well, we'll have to ask Larry Skinner.
if that's a Republican deal, that's Larry Skinner's mother.
Hmm.
If that's a Republican shindig. And I'm trying to guess, this is probably 70s or 80s. This might be.
Hmm.
Jamie Huber Owen says Helen Owen seated on the right,
Well,
Well,
there
that's
you
Helen.
go.
That's Helen Duval. I was right.
and Nancy Harsh says standing second from left, Jean Harsh, Beth Gillian.
Jean Harsh, I thought she was secretary at Northward.
Yeah, Miss Owen was married to Leonard Owen,
Mhm.
father of Ray Owen,
Lived at the end of Main Street.
and her dad was a Duval and ran Duval's is right about where they've got a Western Wear. Used to be a place to repair your vacuum cleaners next to the Strand, and he had the store over on North Central by the railroad tracks, and a fire, and he moved over to where he was at, and she ran that, and she was famous. That store was famous, Dave, because it was a time warp. You'd walk into Duval's and it looked like you're in 1940 during the war years.
But she did wear black.
She wore black all the time. She had black hair, and she had and I think you were the beneficiary of this. She had a big box.
Fiesta.
She had a big box at the front door, and inside of were little bitty gift wrap things, little gift boxes, and it was stuff she'd had in her store for 40 years that couldn't sell. Yeah. And there was 25 cents or 50 cents or 10 cents. I bought every one they had for a party we had, and I passed them out.
Yeah.
I passed them out, and everybody and there was a mustache comb. There was a thing, a stick pin for your hair, a thing that held your garter hose up.
Yeah, you did give out those gifts.
That was a wonderful thing.
She sold what was popular back then was the Fiesta dishes.
And you still have yours, don't you?
Yes. And we would go up there on Friday night to Duval's every Friday night and get a plate or a dish, something.
But you would walk inside there and you swore you walk into
time warp.
Yeah, you were in 1942.
Twilight Zone.
And you were expected to give them stamps, government stamps to buy something.
Ration.
Yeah, so I don't know what that was. That must be okay. This is that's Miss Lane.
Yeah, that's Claire Lane's wife.
Claire, yeah, and she's one of the wasn't she one of the Teeter girls? Maiden name, isn't that Steve Henniger's aunt?
Yeah,
they were all Teeters.
Yeah. This lady looks familiar, but
Flock. Is that Flock?
So does that. No, I don't think that's Mrs. Flock.
Okay, she's familiar.
I've been wrong already once.
Yeah. Oh, I was right though. Let's get that on the record.
Yes, let's put that down.
Got any names for us besides?
Nancy Harsh has left. Roberta Sodero.
Oh, that's Sodero.
Roberta Sodero.
Jan and Kay Sodero and Bobby Sodero's mother. Yeah. Lived on.
She was a nice lady.
Lived on Park Street. USI people.
They also lived on Daggy.
Yeah.
At one time.
USI people came from the plant.
Yeah, Bill Sodero.
Cheryl Redmond Code said right, Dolores Lane, which you got. And then Judy Lane Moon says to the right of mom is Mary Parrish.
Oh, Marianne Parrish.
Well, yeah. In fact, she looks like Marianne. They lived on Sunset Boulevard, where L.H. Mann lived. What's that called? Sunset Drive.
Oh, Cherry Street.
Well, no, Cherry Street's one of them. This is
it's
where Jimmy Bailey lived. You're going down Enzy, and you go by where Mark Maxey lives.
Oh,
little lane right there. L.H. Mann lived down there on the east side.
Oh,
and Marianne Parrish was across the street.
Bill Sargent lived on the corner.
There's my principal my senior year, Jack Robertson.
Happy Jack.
And standing in the middle is Mrs. Lineberger.
Yeah, and this gal sitting in the chair on the right, she was a teacher there too.
English, wasn't she?
Yeah, Rager. I don't know. It might be Mrs. Rager.
Yeah.
Trying to see who these other teachers were.
This is about 64 or 5, I think.
Isn't that? I don't know.
That was Dorothy Lineberger. Go back one.
Wasn't that look like Mrs. Barber down in there? But it's not. That's that math teacher. I can't.
Isn't that Dorothy Lineberger though? Right in the middle.
That's Dorothy Lineberger. It's the first time I ever saw her smile.
Yeah, she and her hair looks nice. She put some money in her hair.
Next.
Oh, those are.
Oh God, that gal on the left.
She's a Tuscola gal.
Yeah. Okay, you got names.
Wanda Vestal on the left.
Yeah, that's
no wonder.
I was going to say Wanda.
And Beverly Ferguson.
Don't know Beverly.
Don't know Beverly.
I thought that was Wanda.
Sure remember Wanda Ferguson or Wanda Vestal.
Later in her life, Wanda wore a hair. what do you call that?
all the time.
Remember you tied over your hair?
Scarf.
Scarf. She wore a scarf every day. Scarf. She wore a scarf every day. Headscarf.
That's an interesting story, Mike.
Yeah, really.
Well, that's Tuscola trivia.
That's Tuscola
Who
trivia.
was famous for wearing a headscarf every day is Wanda Vestal. And
Well, and Devin,
who was famous for wrapping his cowboy hat in aluminum foil?
and Devin at Flush's
Awesome.
Candy
Yeah.
Kitchen.
Yeah. See, we noticed these
We
things.
noticed things like your hat, your shoes.
Yeah. She was married to Kenny Vestal.
Daughter died when she was in high school.
8th grade.
8th grade was that?
Yeah. Christy. Never forget that. First one in our class.
Poor girl, never.
Yeah.
Upper left is Don
Don
Belts and his wife. Sitting down is that Dean Mulligan in the middle?
Possibly.
That's what I've got.
That's a young Dean.
Yeah. I don't know who's up on the right.
This is kind of interesting.
These are 60s.
Yeah, these are definitely 60s.
Don ran the Eisners. His kids were smart as a whip. All of them were straight A.
Yeah.
That's not Oliver Glenn, is it? Okay, there's.
Oh, there she is. I was just talking about her.
Yeah, Mama Hall and
Olga Hall.
Olga Hall taught history.
Kenton Hall,
right.
her husband.
Kenton Hall. They lived out in West Virginia. I know it's Parkersburg, West Virginia, and they came to Tuscola in about 1961 or two.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
For the plant for USI. Brought their two
Boy,
sons.
the boys look like Kenton, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they brought Les and Alan out. Alan joined our football team, became quarterback. I don't know who's sitting with them. Mrs. Hall would teach history. And when she actually was on actual history, it was okay, not too. But then she'd wander off on personal stories from West Virginia. We all woke up. We loved it. Best part of her class was
that's how we learned.
She got talking about West Virginia and how life used to be, and she was a wonderful storyteller.
Yes, she was.
Kenton was pretty
beautiful,
pretty quiet guy.
He was quiet.
Kind of like Alan.
Good guy.
Kind of like Alan, doesn't say too much.
But she was a wonderful teacher.
Yeah.
We've got. Did you get the couple in the other two?
No.
Well, someone asked Victoria Fernandez, "Is that your mom and dad?" And she says, "Yes, it is." With Olga and Kenton Hall.
What was her maiden name?
Well, that's what they said, yes, that's my mom, but didn't say who they are. Then Sharon Cappy had tagged Lisa Weber White and her husband on the left, says. So I don't know. Can't really make.
No, Les, I thought was more like Olga, and Alan is just like his dad.
Oh, yeah.
Probably, yeah, just.
Les even laughed like his mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some deep trivia.
So anyway.
Wondering who the kids look like and who they took after. Well, that's WGTE TV. I remember Closed Circuit TV came to town. This is Allison's TV out on the highway, I think. Or it could be General Telephone downtown.
I think it's in the back room at the GTE.
Well, your mother-in-law worked.
Yeah, she was there. There might be a picture coming up of her. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I didn't get any help online with these, but it looks like a little field trip, either scouts or school kids or
something.
But maybe we'll get someone who knows.
Yeah.
Random pictures. Well, there's Kenny Vestal.
There's Kenny Vestal, second from the right. That's Wanda's husband. Come on, we should know these guys.
I don't know what this is all about, though, the gathering. Because there's Mrs. Duvall in the back. There's Happy Jack back there.
Brenda McCumber said Art Smith on right with turtleneck shirt.
Art Smith?
Mm-hmm.
That's my question is, who's Art Smith?
Yeah.
It says. And I think the other ones that I have, you've already gotten.
Kenny worked for the phone company?
No, gas company.
Gas company, Silco.
Mm-hmm. Well, he worked for the old one before.
Before.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's in the community building, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing some cards. Got a little poker game going or something.
Well, that's boy, that looks like
That's
Rose Forrester.
That is Rose Forrester sitting over. The gal facing looks like she's got a full house and she can't wait to bid.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Rose Forrester. I don't know if it is or not.
It does to me too.
Didn't her dad or his dad live with them or in town?
Mm-hmm.
Could that be him?
Gosh,
that's the only name I've got on Facebook.
What do you have?
Mrs. Forrester.
And who sent that in? I'm curious.
Well, there's Kenny Vestal back
You
there.
sent in the name?
Yeah, who gave you that name?
Joy Doherty.
Huh. Okay.
So is her first grade teacher.
She was a teacher, yes.
Well, there's
that's the mayor on the right. That's Powell on the left.
That's Tom Powell, the car dealer.
And Marlar.
Marlar on the right. The guy in the middle is the grand potentate from Schenectady, New York, came in to bless the occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Poobah, I think was his name.
Grand Poobah.
Yeah.
Well, there's the Cadillac dealer. Now, who worked down there at Profits that sold Cadillacs?
Well, I don't know who this guy is.
That's not Red or his brother.
Or
yeah. Well, is it the Tuscola dealership? Because no one has given any help on. I've got 2 or 3 pictures with him in it.
Well, we Tuscola. That was the only Cadillac dealership in Douglas County.
Yeah, no,
we had a lot of car dealers at one time, didn't we?
A lot of car dealers, a lot of gas stations.
Yeah.
A lot of restaurants. Don't know who that is. I don't think that's Newman, is it? That's not, what's his name from Newman? Goby?
Ken Goby?
Is that Ken Goby, young Ken Goby?
I think he only sold Chevrolets.
I don't know.
This is a real random picture back in the 60s.
This is a random picture. I don't know if this is a group that was in town or if this is, looks like it's at a school.
Well, it's 4-H.
4-H. Yeah, it's got 4-H up at the top.
Maybe had some visiting, probably out of the nation visiting.
Extension office. Maybe.
Yeah, they had farm people, experts come in from all over the world sometimes to look at our soil. All we had to tell them was we got 24 inches of topsoil.
Yeah.
You could grow bowling balls here. The soil's so good. Speaking of bowling balls, is that big Bill Huber?
That's Bill Huber with Harold Hackett.
Yeah, they're getting ready to pick his legs.
Isn't that Harold?
Well, I'm thinking it could be Harold. He didn't wear a hat very often. He was an unusual farmer. Well, that's definitely Bill Huber wanted you to know that you bought your equipment from Huber and Sloan.
Mm-hmm.
Rudy Huber says it's Hackett Brothers in Tuscola.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Williams painted the Huber and Sloan on the front. Channel 3 had a feature on this. This was the first 6-row corn head in the state, maybe 1966.
Yeah, Larry Williams, I've mentioned this before. Really nice guy, farmer. Married Bob Travis's sister. But Larry was a sign painter, very talented. And I remember the swirl shop up at the old Methodist Church that Chrissy Vandeventer runs. He painted the swirl shop on a pallet. He was a great sign painter. Did it freehand.
The first 6-row picker. Oh gosh.
I mean, it looks small today, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. It is small. Yeah.
The first 6, according to Rudy, that's the first 6-row corn picker in the state. And
we have no facts to argue with Rudy.
No,
I think it's the third one, but I can't prove it.
By the way, the cab's not air conditioned, and where's the GPS or whatever they do?
GPS is located right between over your nose. These two things called eyeballs.
That reminds me, I saw Rudy at the school during the library reception, and I asked him about we had a picture of a soldier, and the envelope said Bill Huber but we knew it wasn't the Bill Huber we know. And Rudy said there was another Bill Huber in the county that lived in Villa Grove, and they weren't related. So that might have been him. But anyway, this Bill Huber is so iconic. I mean, it's not a great picture, but even from that distance and that quality, there's no mistaking that that's Bill Huber.
Yeah, and there's no mistaking that's a Huber and Sloan Cornhead.
That's what is written on it.
Yeah, Big Bill's an icon. Oh, this is the old square dancing group in Tuscola, and there's Gaylord Swihart, second from right. Roy Hopkins is that Roy Hopkins?
That's Mr. Kleiss on the end there. Bernard Kleiss. That's Mike Kleiss's dad.
Gaylord Swihart's the second in with his wife in front of him.
This is Reinhardt.
And there's Mrs. right here.
Yeah, that's Mrs. Reinhardt. Clarice Swihart with Gaylord and the Kleisses together. This is Harold and Naomi Hackett.
You're exactly right. That's Harold back when he had dark hair. I remember him with white hair. Naomi looks like her daughter Debbie a lot.
Debbie, there.
Yeah, Harold was a square dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carroll, see if there's any other names, or did you get them all?
We don't have a
1, 2, 3, 4 of them.
Is that Hibbets?
No, he was a big guy.
Well, that's a big guy there.
No, this guy's shorter because Mr. Reinhardt was shorter.
What do you got, Dave?
Well, I got Carol Hausman says Gaylord and Clarice Swihart and on end Bud and Norma Kleiss, Harold and Naomi Hackett, Gene and Irene Reinhardt, and far right Art Moss. It says
far right Artie Moss. No.
Where's far right? They must mean down here.
You mean on the?
Because they already said this is Kleiss. They must mean down here.
Sometimes
they're reversed,
right and left mixed up.
Well, that could be Art's dad. That's not Art. Is his dad named Art?
I don't know. That's certainly not Artie Moss.
No, Artie's just passed away a couple months ago.
Not that long ago.
This is the high school, I think.
Oh, I know what this is.
All the principals.
C. Hicks.
Yeah, Oscar
Bob
Hicks.
Trimble standing back there by the window.
Oscar Hicks. This is flat type era. Flat top.
Bob Arnold sitting there with the glasses on.
See the guy with the owl glasses, the real heavy glasses. That was our basketball coach in 1964 and 5, 63 and 4.
Arnold 63 through 67.
Rumley was my freshman coach, and Arnold was my sophomore, junior, senior.
He was here until McCumber graduated.
Yeah, he was here another 2 years, I think. Then went to Mount Vernon.
He didn't coach. He should have stuck around.
Well,
didn't he coach? Did he coach Sipe and Brown?
No, at Burris. Arnold left in 67.
He left too early.
He went to Mount Vernon, and he went to the state Final Four with Nate Hawthorne, his 6'4" center.
Now, remember the guy we need to get's this one right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys, we got a couple of guys in the Hall of Fame sitting there.
Well, these are probably these could be setting up the Oklahoma Conference schedule or setting rules or something. These are all Oklahoma Conference coaches and people. One of Tuscola's big mistakes in the school system, and they've had a couple, was not
only a couple.
Well, the last 2 minutes, I would say not hiring Bob Trimble. And I remember, and it's funny how it worked out. But I heard he was up for principal, and they didn't want him. They wanted this unknown guy. And of course, I knew Bob, and he's one of the great guys you'd ever want to find. And,
one of the great coaches.
One of the great coaches, great guy, Oakland boy, played 59-60 for Oakland. And I actually went to the superintendent's house and said, what's going on? Because they put in some stuff. They added some, you remember the story.
Oh, yeah.
And he was nervous as could be. Anyway, they wound up hiring.
I think we've been canceled.
Somebody's phone. So your phone, Mike?
Yeah. It's off now. They wound up hiring a guy named Jim Voiles, who I was really disappointed at the time.
From
And
the coaching standpoint, it was Ray Toll,
well, yeah.
wasn't it?
No, this was when they were hiring the principal. It was high
Okay,
school
the
principal.
principal.
Yeah, Ray Tolan's different.
Yeah, that's right.
And they hired this guy, Jim Boyles, who for the first year or two didn't say a word. In fact, we're going to play golf somewhere, and Englehart had the joke that, that the superintendent had the Boyles was hidden in the golf bag. Remember that? He said he wound up turning out to be one of the great principals we ever had, superintendents.
Well, principal superintendent, probably one
of the best.
He might have been the best school man we ever had.
Great guy.
Yeah.
So we really didn't in the net.
Well, he just didn't talk like us.
He was a quiet guy. He actually thought before he spoke. I've always thought that was a character flaw.
Jim Boyles would say that was a character flaw of both of us.
Sometimes the words are coming out and your brain's going, what are you going to say, Mike? What's coming out? Hey, Dave, we lost our picture.
You lost your picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says Zoom.
I just went to a different picture. All right. Let me
okay, there you go.
Let me try again here.
That was so good.
But anyway, it's amazing how things turn out.
Great picture.
That guy could be from Sullivan. That looks like
somebody said
is that Shawjo from Sullivan?
Did you get Oscar Hicks?
Yeah, Oscar's right in the middle, left hand up by saying that could be Ray Shawjo from Sullivan, the old
possibly.
No, except I think I did track against Ray in high school, so it couldn't be Ray.
And who'd you say is standing in the center?
Bob Trimble, it looks like.
That's Bob Trimble.
Who was at Tuscola then? A student.
This is at Tuscola.
He was actually a coach here for a couple of years, and then Monticello hired him away, and he wanted to come back to be closer to Oakland and his family.
And the Walnut Farm down in Hinesboro.
He's got a little cabin out there in the woods, and in fact, he held his 65th, or he held his 60th reunion. It was in the Oakland paper.
Class reunion.
Yeah, and they had about Bobby Giles was there.
Heck of a team.
Heck of a team. I don't know if that's the old Eisners or not. Is that Eisners?
Tim Hull says he thinks it's the old IGA on South Main where the museum is now.
Well, it could be. Furco's ran that. I'm trying to think. Oh, there's Mr.
On the left is Dwayne Bruce, then Elmer Skinner, Larry Cressine,
Wayne Brown.
Wayne Brown, Bill Roach.
Bill Roach and Fat Jack Wellens.
Jack Wellens.
Wayne Brown cut her hair. And there's Wayne Brown's wife on the right.
Mm-hmm.
And Linda. What's her name, Linda?
Linda Brown, yeah.
And you know the one on the left?
The one on the left, Mrs. Carlson.
Betty Carlson.
Betty Carlson.
I don't have the ones in between.
Is that a Flume? I don't know.
No, we should know her.
I know.
That's not Blanche Flume.
That's not Sadie Beasley, is it? Got her head
close. Their names?
No, that's all the names I had.
Oh, there we go. Oh, that's what's his name? Principal in Oakland, and he went to St. Joe, isn't it?
Landeck? No.
Isn't that Landeck?
No, that's long ago.
That's Harry Connor.
That's Harry Connor on the far right. So that means
Kevin's
down here someplace. Number 3
here. Kevin's
is
right
Kevin.
Here. No, this is
he's back there with the glasses.
Far left, the bottom row. He's behind the short guy in front of him is Kevin Connor. And is that a Ryan? And there's an Owen. Number 11's an Owen. One of the Owen boys, Randy or whoever.
Who's number 1?
Number 1 is Kevin Burke. Right next to Kevin Burke is my cousin Rick McGuire.
Do you have a lot of names on this?
I've got all the names on this.
Oh, there you go.
See, I think we got about 5 of them. Go ahead.
I'm looking at a lot of comments on this one. Okay, according to Kevin Connor, left to right, Bill Burke, Steve McCarty, not sure. Steve Burke
is the coach.
Oh, yeah, Bill Burke.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the next one?
Mug McGuire, Phil Waters, I think, Harry Connor, second row, Kevin Connor, Jim Ross, which I think someone said maybe Steve Ross. Let's see. Not Jim. Uh,
Well, Randy Owen.
Forgot his first name. Wilhelm. First row, Steve Wetzel, Mike Weaver, and Denny Long.
Okay, go back to the Kevin Connor. Who's next to Kevin Connor? You said you had them all there. Kevin Connor, and who's next?
Most of them. Kevin Connor. He said Jim Ross, but someone said they think that's Steve Ross, not Jim Ross.
Did you give anybody else? Because I think number 11's an Owen.
And then Steve Owen.
Steve Owen. Okay.
And then a Wilhelm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that Joe?
That's a Wilhelm.
Is that Joe or his brother?
Well, these boys, now that Phil Waters, I mean, we're talking about guys 70 years old now.
Yeah, number 1, Burke.
Well, maybe not 70.
Burke went on to be a distance runner and was All-American at Eastern, I think, wasn't he?
Denny Long was my neighbor. What a great guy.
Yeah.
Kevin Connor says, I remember wearing yellow uniforms and we were the Braves.
Yeah, that is Bill Burke, isn't it? Remember, what they run the Tasty Freeze?
Yeah. Yeah, he worked at the plant. He was
and opened up a Tasty Freeze on the side.
His sister was Joan Little.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think he developed Parkview. I
don't know.
I think he was instrumental in this.
I don't know.
This is when I was introduced to the basketball game.
Yeah, they cheered for
They
you.
went crazy. Now, Bill, that's the high school, isn't it?
That's at
not the old Northward, is it?
No, this is the current high school.
What?
This is the current high school. You can tell by the under the stage there, the pull-out drawers.
Well, Northward
possibly, but Northward
was up on a stage too.
Yeah, but they were different. They were darker.
You're right. And you know what though? I wonder what they did with that tea curtain. I think they were going to save that.
I think there are menstrual people up there, Dave. You gotta. That doesn't look good, Dave.
Oh yeah, there in the back, I did see.
Yeah,
maybe somebody. It is what it is, Mike.
I know that's the real life. That's the way it was. We shouldn't sugarcoat the history.
This guy's name at the telephone company.
He's trying to hook up Bill and I trying to talk.
Yeah.
That's what they do. If you call somebody,
he was a manager. Foreman was his name, I think.
If you call somebody, they had to go back up there and find it and pull a lever. Took about 5 minutes for your call to go through.
There was some complication to it.
Well, there we go. There we go. Let's see if we can name these military men here. That looks like Hackett right here. Carl.
I'm not sure. This is Ziegler carrying that flag. The second one in.
I think the one on the left is Carl Hackett. Third one in is
worked at Dean Ziegler.
Dean Ziegler.
And this building, when I was a kid, was the Orange 5 and Dime, isn't it?
Yeah, it was
Anderson's.
Anderson,
right?
Late 60s.
We were really quite progressive. We had free parking.
David, one of the things you can notice is down the end of the block, there was a second story down there on the Star Store. We've talked about that.
Yeah, right. We've had pictures of that where that burned and the building's still there, but not the second story. But I wasn't sure. There's also this fire escape that's no longer there.
Well, here's a good one. Here's a trivia question. The guy on the far right, see where his sword is hanging down?
Mm-hmm.
There's a disc.
That's a manhole cover.
Yeah. Well, here's the manhole over here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that disc was?
Well, you threw it over there.
Huh?
You threw it over there at Halloween.
That where the Christmas tree?
That was where the Christmas tree was.
Mm-hmm. They used to have a huge Christmas tree there, and we would try and go hit the edge of it and spin it. There are those coaches. There's Bill Burris, and there's
Terry Benyon,
guidance counselor. There's Bob
Trimble.
Oh, no, wait a minute. There's Bob Trimble. There's Bob Trimble.
Mm-hmm. Well, he moved.
Bob Trimble, Terry Benyon, Bill Burris.
There's Gene Murray.
Gene Murray's back huddled, the third guy back in there.
They're scheduling.
Yeah, this is the Ocala conference. They're trying to schedule the next year's thing. This is 63, 4, or 5. I'm saying it's 3.
And I'll bet Burris is saying we're getting screwed.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
This was looks like it's in a classroom. First I
Yeah.
thought it'd be the study hall, but this is a classroom.
We used to have, when they had county or regional, back then it was county, regional get-togethers. They always had a time for the coaches to actually confer, if you will. And that's what this is, but they're scheduling.
They're simonizing their
I've done
schedule.
that.
Yeah.
I've been in on that stuff, so I know.
You say this was early 60s.
I'm saying 63.
I was
because Trimble's here, and it's when I was in school because Bob Arnold came in 63.
Yeah.
And he was in the photo.
This could be 64 easily, and 65 season, because Trimble was here. Burris was an assistant.
Trimble was here my sophomore, and junior year. I thought by senior he was gone. I think it's 63.
I was there in the early 80s.
Here for my senior year.
And this classroom did not change one bit.
Well, the lights are still the same.
Well, not now.
Not now. They've been.
I mean, they're the same as they were right then.
Yeah.
Right. When I was in school, the desk, the floor, the teacher's desk, the lights, the blinds, everything was the same.
Yeah,
this picture.
That current picture of the light is just the way it used to be. And that floor is just the way it used to be. I love.
Well, what I'm saying is, in a span of 20 years, nothing was upgraded.
No,
didn't need to be. No, and until recently, it had not been upgraded.
High quality material.
So,
yeah, I think that's the Ocala Valley Conference.
Yeah, it's the Ocala Valley Conference.
You're saying Trimble was still here in 66?
Yeah.
As a coach teacher?
Yes. Yes.
I thought he left before then. There's Jack Robertson again. We've seen this photo before.
Yeah, we've seen it.
We've seen this one?
Dorothy Lineberg. Well,
that's Laverne Anderson sitting there in the
upper left is Jack Robertson, the principal in 1964-5. And there's Dorothy Lineberg, math teacher.
Laverne Anderson taught first grade.
Yeah, these are.
Eric Alexander says Joan Mulligan, far right.
This was Mulligan? I guess it is. Maybe.
Sitting down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her sitting down.
And Laverne Anderson to her left. Although it had to be to her right, because to her left would be nobody.
That looks like a community building floor. See that floor there?
Mike?
Yep.
Are you mocking me?
No, he wouldn't do that. Oh, Sandy McManus.
Taught French in 1965.
She taught me French. She was from Alabama.
Oh, yeah. Had a little Southern drawl.
She did that.
There's Miss to the right. To her side is Miss Hall, taught English 1 or 2 years. And then is that Rager? What was her name? There's
Lynn Statzer.
Lynn Statzer on the left. This gal really. Oh, what was her name? Was it Rager?
Well, I think if that was Rager, yeah. Rick Beatty took English 4 years in a row.
I know, just to be in her class. Miss Hall.
But this is.
I got mad at Miss Hall and almost got in trouble because she wanted us to write a descriptive essay, just trying to describe something. And I tried to describe running on the football field on Friday night about the emotions, the crowd. It was very complex. And I got like a C or a B, and Janice Allen got an A. And I said, well, let me see what an A looks like. And she described a cash register. It's brown, it's square, it's got 24 keys. I said, anybody can do that. Who in the world can describe a football game? And she got real mad at me about kicking me out of the class.
She didn't like jocks.
She didn't like jocks.
Sandy McManus passed away in her early 80s here, just not that long ago.
I saw her, Bill, Beck and I were at, remember that, Beck?
Oh, yeah.
We were up at Temponi's,
and
she was about 3 or 4 years ago. 5 years ago. And I said, Miss McManus, she looked just the same. And we got talking. She remembered, 65. She remembered you a lot. She asked how's Bill doing?
Yeah.
I remember she asked
Yeah.
that.
I don't think she remembered. She remembered Gordon Rice because he threw his book out the window on the second floor.
There's the Judge Pate's wife. What was her first name?
Marguerite.
Marguerite Pate.
Now, this fella, we should know him on the left.
Yeah. I guess Dave, we were done telling stories on the last one.
I guess.
Dave.
Did you? Well, we got a lot of pictures to get through.
Let's go.
No, you can go. We can go on all
Yeah,
day.
I've got a Mrs. Statcher story, but we're running out of
Well, I
time
taught
here.
in school with Mrs. Statzer.
Yeah.
I had her in grade 6.
I've got even better stories.
Yeah.
I don't have any time to tell them.
Yeah, no, you don't. Okay, next picture. The guy on the left, I should know.
Okay, I'm gonna tell my Mrs. Statcher story.
We have the
Go
time.
ahead. Do we have time?
We have the time.
But we'll make time. We're taking the time.
Well, you're the
I
boss.
I was in a study hall and just out of boredom, I guess, I wrote about the high school football team. My brother was on the team. And I wrote a little poem, and I went up to her afterwards. And I said, "Do you like poetry?" And she said, "Yes." So I showed her the poem, and she got all excited about it and put it in the school little newsletter, which was for 7th and 8th grade. I was in grade 6, so it's like this was a big deal. I got published in the junior high newsletter just from something I wrote during a study hall out of boredom, and that was my very first published piece.
Now, was that worth the time?
Oh, I really enjoyed it.
I made a career out of writing,
And you know what?
and Mrs. Statzer started it all.
Teacher's influence. You never know where it's going to stop.
Mrs. Statcher was maiden name was Joan. She's a Villa Grove girl. And I think Neil's a Villa Grove guy, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There was my Mrs. Statzer story.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, Eric Alexander says possibly Stan Weaver on the right, but I would figure you would recognize him if that was the case.
I thought he's bigger than that. Marguerite wasn't very big.
He says he would have been mayor of Urbana at the time.
Stan the man. He
So
was
young Stan Weaver, maybe.
He was a good Illinois senator. He and Virgil Wyckoff.
Did Eric get Marguerite Pate? I'm curious. He knows.
Yes, he did.
Did he? That's interesting because of course, he's much younger, so he must be a real
Harry died.
studier of history.
Harry died, and I was a freshman at law school, and she was selling off his law books in the house, and I went to the house for a sale, and I bought a couple of law books, and she asked me what, and I told her I was going to law school. She said, "Really, what do you want to do?" I said, "I want to come back and be state's attorney." And she said, "Oh, you poor guy." I thought, what am I getting into? She had no news about the system.
So I have a Stan Weaver story, which is actually more of a Bob Hastings story. That when I was in high school, I wanted to go to college, but I couldn't really afford to. My parents, I was number 5. I had other siblings in college, one that had graduated. Just wasn't really money to send me to school, and so I applied for back then they had scholarships, legislative scholarships that the legislators could hand out. What did they call them?
Legislative scholarships.
Oh, there was another name. But anyway, I had applied and I hadn't heard. And I was sitting talking to Bob Hastings at the newspaper office. He asked me about my plans. I said, well, I'd like to go to SIU, but I'm waiting to hear about this scholarship that I applied for with Stan Weaver. And, if I don't get it, I'm probably not going to be able to go. And he picked up the phone and dialed a number by memory and says, "Hey, is Stan there?" And then, I'm hearing just one side of the conversation. And he says, "Hey, Stan, I've got a kid here that needs a scholarship." He told him my name and he says, all right, I'll talk to you later. Hangs up the phone and looks at me and says, "You got your scholarship."
Well, what you don't know is I sent your poem up to him.
Yeah. So that's how things worked back in
the day.
Well, Bob was close with he was real close with Virgil Wyckoff too. And in fact, our mall, the thing that got our mall across the finish line was we had to actually change the law on definition of blighted, and Stan Weaver and Virgil Wyckoff got it through. Stan, the thing I like about Stan, he never took credit. He never blew his horn. He never said, look what I did for you. Other legislators, I won't name, took credit for it and did nothing. Stan's one of those real quiet guys that just got things done. He's a class guy.
That's called a General Assembly Scholarship.
You're right. That's what I was looking for, Bill. Thank you. It was a General Assembly scholarship. They don't have it
Or
anymore,
legislative scholarship.
and it paid 100% of my tuition and fees.
Yeah.
Wow.
When I went to Eastern Illinois, my junior year, the tuition was $60 a quarter and $10 for books to rent the books.
Do we have time for this?
I could go on. There's old Four Eyes. Well, that's Stewart. Is that Tom Stewart?
Yeah.
No. Who is that? The jeweler. Watching.
I think it is Tom.
Is that Tommy?
I just saw Tom getting his mail this morning in his golf cart.
That could be Tom Stewart back in the 60s.
So what do they say? It's for sure not Mr. Aldrich.
Nothing, no
Gene Hall.
comment on that one.
Not Gene Hall from Tuscola. Well, that is.
Is it the Benders from B-Wax over
Benders
in
from Newman.
I didn't have any comments on that one.
On the west side of Newman. These are the that Gene Murray up there again? Or no, that's Carlson. Is that Ray Carlson?
And looks like Dietrich almost.
No, but he's not wearing glasses. Where is this at? That's Ray Carlson up there. And is this the sheriff's office? This is the.
Where did Ray work?
He worked at DeKalb.
This is not DeKalb, though.
No, this is not DeKalb.
It's like a police call center or something.
It looks like old computer equipment.
Is that the hospital? Is that the way the windows were at the hospital? Could that be in the hospital? That's the telephone office.
That might be in the back of the telephone office. Dean Foreman was that manager. Before C.W. Gordy.
Didn't Ray Carlson's wife, Betty, work at the phone company?
No.
Okay. There's Ned Ferguson on the left.
There's Miller.
Eddie Miller, Captain Eddie. There's Mr.
Dwayne
Bruce. Dwayne Bruce. And we should know the second guy in is that Buchanan?
This looks like the same building, so I wonder this may be a American Business Club visit to the telephone office or something.
Could be. Ned Ferguson took over, his dad died, and had to take over the Ford dealership, probably back in the early 60s, wasn't it? 65.
Big dispute. Did Ed Miller hold the scoring record?
Yeah, I just spent all day Monday with Dick Helm, class of 51, and he scored 42 points and held the school scoring record for a long time. Dick's 91 years old still.
Wow.
And I think Eddie came along and scored more in the 40s. Fortney scored in the 40s one game. I don't know who holds the record now.
Fortney would have broken it, but they took him out of the game at Arthur, I remember.
Well, I remember Arthur. I remember that game. I had 12 assists in the first half. Don was wide open. We put on a full court press. They couldn't get across the 10-second line.
I remember.
16-0. Yeah. This is
don't know.
Well, I got a name. I just see if you guys.
Paul Ping. Oh no, who's the guy that
from Charleston?
Yeah, what was
Sargent.
Yes, either Sargent or Paul Ping. The only two artists I know in the area.
Clayton Harris says this is Harold Buck Jones.
Well, now we know three artists. Well, there's that guy again. Looks like he's using stones and stuff. He's just making jewelry or something. I don't know if that's Tommy Stewart or not.
I don't know.
That's a community building because there's the kitchen back in there.
Debbie Steiner says Marcus Whetstone.
Well, that's what it says up there. Wet-stone.
Right, Wet-stone, but she says Marcus Whetstone.
That's a funny last name with a hyphen.
Well, it would be. Whetstone is something you used to sharpen a knife. But
who said that?
Who said, yeah.
Debbie Dean Steiner.
Rick Marsh and the guy from WCIA that used to do the news,
Tom Jones.
Tom Jones.
Must have been maybe a wheelchair basketball game or something.
Yeah.
Fundraiser. Tom Jones is the one that started the baseball program for handicapped children in Champaign. He was a sportscaster.
Okay. I knew
Was he wheelchair bound? I know Rick was.
Yes, he was definitely wheelchair bound.
He was very innovative. He got a lot of things going. He got a lot of press back in the 60s. I think they had some kind of wheelchair basketball game or something. Rick was running the abstract company, his father's abstract company. Rick's brother was a great center on the 53 team with Bill Burris.
Bill Burris.
Chad. Well, this is my old 57 Ford.
Wow.
Okay, who's driving this?
Mr. Zane.
Well, the guy standing up just got out of prison.
It looks like it.
Or is wearing his pajamas.
Oh, looks like a prison outfit. Well, I don't know who those people are.
Carroll Hausman thought maybe Mike Payne driving the truck, but it doesn't really look like Mike to me.
No, I had more hair than that back then.
Mm-hmm.
This guy in the middle over here is John Belushi, I think.
Well, if that was our fire department, it's going to burn down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's Wayne Neal on the left, John Morris next to him. This is all post office people.
This is in the
and there's
post office.
Mr. Heacock.
Willis Heacock.
Second in the right is Willis Heacock.
Oh gosh, I know him too, but I can't think of his name. This is in Mr. Neal's office.
This is in the 60s again.
Mm-hmm.
Bob
Wayne
Taylor,
Neal.
Johnny Morris, second from left.
Yeah,
Him. Okay.
Johnny Morris was captain of the 1927 football team with Tack Green. His son Phil played on the 1960 team, guard. Wayne Neal is father of Gary and Tamara. Tamara was Bill's classmate.
Now I'm surprised nobody has commented on this. I thought surely somebody would know who some of these boys are. It looked like maybe a pet parade.
Mm-hmm.
Miniature lions, it says. Gerbils.
Kid back here looks familiar.
Wayne Sipe on the left, Mr. Marler, that Mr. Felix.
Possibly Melvin Felix, or Mr. Yost.
Melvin
Yost. O.B.
Smith and Mr. That Marler. Yeah. Who's
this? This is Mr. Patrick, who was like 102 when he died, but this is
he was
97 or 9th birthday.
Yeah.
What's his first name, Martin? Mr. Patrick, brother Patrick. This is all lodge.
Right. Yeah, Mason's Lodge.
That's wait, go back to that lodge thing. Is that Mr. Caldwell? Wayne Sipe and then Clyde Caldwell?
It looks like more like Clyde to me.
Clyde Caldwell.
Well, that's a good picture. O.B. Smith.
I think it's Mr. Felix, Melvin Yost, O.B. Smith. That is, that could be Mr. We should know that guy on the right. You got names?
Only the ones you've already got.
No, we've named them all. Very good.
Oh, this is out of the past. Douglas County Board of Supervisors in 33. There's John Wax. I'm just kidding. You got the names at the bottom.
Yeah. At the bottom. Well, David Kencoy says his great-grandfather, Alva Curtis Strader, is identified in the newspaper photo. So this was a negative. So it's a picture of a clipping, but
well, the important one is second from right standing. I think is Bill McCarty's dad.
So, kind of a cool picture, and
it is.
That's still the office of the supervisors. That's still the same.
Yeah, this hasn't changed either.
But Bill McCarty's there. There's Melvin Lossman, Garland Stroll, and Mr. Slusky. Wasn't they Slusky?
No.
Oh,
Lord.
Tim Hole says Claude Hawkins in the middle.
Claude Hawkins.
There you go. Yeah.
Mr. Slusky's twin
Yeah.
brother.
Twin brother.
Well, yeah, that was the old T&B, I think. This is go back one more. Go back one just for a second. Is that the
You know what this
T&B?
is? It's a savings and loan, isn't it? Because Clyde Hawkins worked with Bill Skinner one time.
But that's not the Corn Belt. That must be
First Federal.
First Federal when they moved down the street. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I agree. Okay. First Federal again.
The gal on the right looks familiar, but I can't place it right now. This is when it opened up.
And Mrs. Hawkins in the middle.
I don't know.
Judy Lane Moon says Eunice Muir center question mark.
Okay.
Grandma Muir. Wow. Doug Rice's grandmother?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Raymond Muir.
Lived down on Newkirk and Quarter Center Street.
Mm-hmm.
And Norma Lewis says Mildred Grubb on the left.
Oh,
No.
Doesn't look like her.
I didn't think so.
Mrs. Grubb was at the high school.
Mrs. Grubb
forever.
I showed up every day late my senior year and she had a note waiting on me. Excuse for being late.
Mm-hmm.
She just had them.
Yeah.
They Xeroxed them.
She was happy to see you.
Judy Lane Moon says maybe Carolyn Martin Payton on the far right.
Possible.
And Sandra Billman says that's not Carolyn.
I didn't think
Doesn't
so.
know any of them.
Was she a Villa Grove gal just like Donnie?
Oh no, Bus Martin's
Was that Bus
oldest
Martin's
daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chuck Knox says Alice Lossman on the left.
Chuck would know.
So a lot of comments on that picture.
Okay, is that Ray or Don? Ray, I'm going to say Ray McCumber.
I was going to say Ray, then Amos Albritton.
Mm-hmm.
Roy Toomey.
Roy Toomey. This is the gas company. And Carl Connor on the far left.
Yeah.
This is the gas company. Ray was a director, stockholder.
And did you get Roy Toomey?
Yeah, he was the mayor at the time.
Mm-hmm.
We got all except the guy in the middle.
Okay. I think that's all the ones.
When they sold that gas company, they all made a little bit of money.
I think they made a lot of money.
Well, I don't want to rub it in.
Yeah.
Well, this is
Dale Bateman's holding the stalk
of either corn or sorghum. Oh, there you go. That's Snyder. Tall guy.
I don't think so.
You don't think that's Dave Snyder's
He wasn't
dad?
here then. No, I don't think so. Roy. Pardon.
That's a young Dale Bateman.
That's a very young Dale Bateman.
4-H.
There we go.
Bill Roach and Jack Wellens. Jack Wellens was the police chief.
Yeah. Bill Roach, first Fed?
I thought it was a bank.
Yeah, one of the banks.
One of the banks.
Okay, now there's Kenny Vestal on the left middle row.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. This guy on the right looking away is Noel Moore, Mike Moore's dad. I'm pretty sure that's who that is. This is an old picture.
Mm-hmm. That's a gas company picture.
Yeah. And the gals that work there.
And we know that one. We know that one. Oh, that's was
Gordy there.
That was the first health club. That was the steam room mechanical. Yeah, Mr. Gordy.
Mr. Gordy.
Clarence.
C.E. Gordy?
C.W.
C.W. Gordy.
I think.
Back then, when you talk to somebody, it actually went through a tube, like a wire, you hold.
Mm-hmm.
So your voice, it wasn't digital. It was actually compressed into a tube and went to the other guy. So every house had this in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that those tubes contain wires.
Well, that's your theory.
Yeah.
Can we agree to disagree?
Yeah, I think.
There's Mr. Flume in the lower right. That was, what was Clarence Flume, lower right.
Yeah. Bud Rice, second from left and back, standing up.
Mm-hmm. And that's
that's Bill Lyles.
Bill Isles up in the upper right. It's a farm deal. Could be any chance that's the country company's board or something.
No, I don't think
Eric
so.
Alexander says Otto Henningsen seated center.
Okay.
And
that would be his
Tony
grand.
Little says Leo Travis, third one in the back.
That is Leo. That's Bob Travis's dad.
Eric says Bud Rice, second from left and back.
Yep,
Right.
got that.
And Joyce Henningsen Alexander says front row Art Christine, Otto Henningsen, Clarence Flume.
Oh, Mr. Christine, Sue Ellen's dad.
Mm-hmm. You don't see any pictures of Leo. I got a chance to legal work. Leo was just salt of the earth. His son Bob was just like him. Oh no, there's a picture of me. And Don, we just won the Oklahoma tournament. That's Don Fortney on the left with see that haircut. Bob Arnold, Rick Gibson's passed away. Butch Dietrich's holding the trophy. Lonnie, and I think that's me right here on the right.
I think it is you.
Sweating, worked my ass off during that game.
Yeah, no one else played. You just did it all.
Oh, well, the rebounding.
It was wonderful.
Look how I'm losing my hair, and I'm a senior in high school.
Look at Fortney.
It's cut pretty short.
I think that's Bright in the back.
Mark Bright.
Yeah.
David, my senior year, I was 6'3.5". I was the next to shortest guy on the team. On the left, Mark Bright was 6'5". Fortney was 6'4". Gibson's 6'4.5". Lonnie Von Lincoln was 6'1". I was 6'3.5". We were big for then. Well, there it is.
Check this out.
Good picture.
I'll do you do it, Bill.
I've got the trophy.
Get the names.
You guys, if you don't have every single name on this picture.
Back row left, number 52. That's Rick Gibson. Then me, John Beatty, John Laster, Doug Rice. Going down below Doug Rice, number 44 is Mike Carroll. 24, Lonnie Von Lincoln. 30s, John Butch Dietrich. 54 is Don Fortney. And 50 is Goose, Mark Bright.
See that trophy?
Yeah.
It was the biggest trophy we had at the time. We won the Paris Holiday Tournament. And their star, Drew Johnson, said they bought that big trophy because they were convinced they were going to win. Up to win that trophy, David, we beat an undefeated St. Anne team. Now then, believe this, we beat Chicago Farragut, a South Suburban 8 school, and then beat Paris to get that trophy.
Only 10 guys dressed.
Yeah.
Look at that. Got Mike and Bill in the same picture.
Yes, we were.
Can you tell I'm going bald right there?
Yeah, I can. I can see it. You see it, David?
There you go.
Yeah, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Lonnie. Lonnie was he was our captain. He was just a great guy.
I want you to look at the neck on number 20. If you
Johnny.
close in on John Beatty was known as a hatchet man.
When the other team had a really good score that was hot, we said Johnny took him out. Johnny, take him into the bleachers, and I don't want to see him get up.
God, that's a great picture of
Look
him.
at Dingo.
Yeah.
Look at Dingo.
I'm right there.
Hoot, look at Hoot.
The Hooter.
Now, we told a story last week about this 52 next to Bill. We talked about him during the Oklahoma conference, hitting Wilbur Clark and knocking him under the bleachers.
Yeah.
And that's the guy that did it. 200.
Yeah. Well, look how big he is.
6'4", 210 pounds.
You know, I wasn't tiny as such, but look at that.
Bright was one of the nicest guys in the world. Don went on to be All-American in college out at
Regis Hall of Fame.
Try out for the Olympics in '68. Try out with the Chicago Bulls. Well, there's Mr.
Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh, head of the president of Lions. Hey, Dave, get Bill and I a picture of that basketball one if you can.
Becky, do you want to see the basketball picture?
Here, Beck.
Yeah.
Remember the way we looked?
Yeah.
See if my wife can pick me out.
Oh, of course I can.
Oh, you just pointed to Lonnie Von Lincoln.
That's not Lincoln, that's you.
Look at Inko back here.
I know, Bill always looks the same. Johnny Beatty looks the same.
Johnny B. Wasn't Johnny Laster a nice guy?
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
Oh,
He
yeah.
died too early. Rick died. We had two guys.
Mark Bright was a great guy.
Mark Bright was just a nice guy.
Yeah. And we had dinner or lunch with John Dietrich.
Yeah, he came home
Few years ago.
Yeah, he came home and we went to lunch with. We call him Butch. He likes to go by John now. Lives on a mountain, looking down over Salt Lake City, Utah.
Bountiful, Utah is the town.
Becky, don't get too far away. There's another picture coming up.
Okay, Becky.
Oh, I hope it's true. Oh,
Becky's not in this one.
but she's not in it. But she knows.
Well, I didn't say it was the next one coming up.
Oh,
Carol Teeters, Debbie Hackett, Alexander, and
Is that
Copeland.
Copeland.
that doesn't look like Alexander.
That's Becky.
That doesn't look like her.
Who do you think it is, Bill?
That's Becky.
I know, but it doesn't look like her.
No, it doesn't look like her. I agree.
Yeah.
We get Becky in here. We drug her in there. There you go.
I don't
Well,
know. I don't know. I don't know where it is on the list, but there is one coming up.
Okay, we'll call you when you show up.
It didn't look.
Okay. You know who these people are, honey?
No.
Well, that's Carl. I think that's Carl Hackett, I think.
I don't know. I can't see it. from
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
it's small.
here. That's small.
What him?
Everyone came to a parade.
Yeah. Oh,
Everyone
yeah.
liked a parade in
Oh, yeah.
Tuscola.
Oh yeah, look at it.
Look at it. It was 2 cars and these guys. What a parade.
No, it was probably at the end.
Oh, there we go. We had the mummers there.
Hey, this was a big deal.
Bob Hastings used to always get the Shriners and the mummers.
What are the mummers?
Aren't the mummers part of the Shriners?
I'm not for sure.
You made it up.
No. Look it up.
The mummers.
There they are. There's the mummers.
I have to tell you, I've never heard of the mummers.
I haven't either.
Well, give me my
Neither.
phone at. I'm going to look up the mummers. There's Waldo Ball, I think, right there.
Possibly.
Looks like Joe Myers.
Well, now you're just throwing out
Yeah,
names.
'cause you
I think
can't
that's
see.
Bill Skinner. That's Frank Lincoln.
I've been doing this for 4 years. What do you mean? You just now figure it out?
Carol Schroeder says John Bundy on the far left.
Who?
Carol Schroeder says John Bundy on the far left.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Knights of Columbus. That's Mike's standard response. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I
Yeah.
said. Actually, it's what I said.
Hey, look how they've improved the candy kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another one on the
This is
phone.
a picture we don't understand. Now that is
Waldo Ball.
Waldo Ball.
And there's Ken Kegley.
What is Dad?
Yeah.
There's Gordy. There's
Ray
Myron
Carlson.
Pangburn. We got them all.
What's the deal?
Myron Pangburn, Carlson.
Is this some sort of thing from the sheriff's office or?
Enos
I don't know.
Albritton at the desk.
Oh, why?
Why's your dad there?
I don't know. Should be out at the plant. Oh, there are ponies. The little pony.
Yeah, it's a goat.
Oh, it's a goat.
But you
See?
can write him.
Yeah.
The Mummers Parade is held each year in Philadelphia. The Mummers.
Oh, wouldn't you know it? Dadgummit.
Don't
I'm
ever
glad
challenge.
No, I won't challenge.
Don't
you.
challenge me.
No,
you look
don't
like an
challenge
idiot.
it.
You look like an idiot.
This is down
So
by
I go back.
Oh, the
Go
old
back.
the old Corn Belt building.
Sue Ellen Kersing.
Oh, I think that is Sue Ellen.
I think it's her sister.
Oh,
No, I mean Mary Jim Stillwell.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Margaret.
yeah,
Margaret Stillwell.
yeah.
Margaret. Excuse me.
I think it's
That's
Margaret.
Billy right there.
Billy Goat.
Billy Goat.
Goat.
I thought it was Pony.
Gosh, I'm telling you.
Oh, that's
I don't know.
oh, you know these. You take this one.
Well, I think the middle one's Elmer Hoffman.
No. Well, this one's Keep Highway Safe.
Joyce Lewis says Laura Hauser on the right question.
The one on the right looked familiar, so I think
You know what? That doesn't look like Mrs. Hauser to
I think
me.
it is. I think it is. Can we agree, disagree?
Okay, we can. Mrs. Ponder on the far right.
Marion Ponder,
Oh, yeah.
Mrs. Rice, Bud Rice's wife, right there.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
Mrs. Rice. This is Dick Lake's wife,
Yeah.
isn't it?
On the left.
Yeah.
On the far left.
What was her first name? Kay.
I believe so.
Kay Lake, yes.
And we should know her right here.
Yeah, she looks familiar.
That's a famous Tuscola
Mm-hmm.
face right there.
Mm-hmm.
You do know who it is.
Give us her initials.
I don't.
You'll know as soon as I tell you.
We'll say the initials.
Give me the initials.
LS.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. That's what you thought, isn't it?
Laura
No.
Simpson.
Linda?
Simpson.
Leona Stephen.
Oh yeah.
I told you I knew that. I don't want to name them all, make Bill feel dumb. Like
Yeah,
he's not
that's
getting any of them. Bill's got a real self-esteem problem.
This looks like it's Park.
It is at the
Mhm.
park.
Mm-hmm. Look at those. Look at those. Bill, if you and I tried to walk those bleachers today, we'd die.
You know what? That's
Oh.
it's Gary Alexander, isn't it?
Or Jim Polig. Oh,
No,
wait, it
that's
is.
Phil Waters or
That's-
Mike Waters.
Yeah,
That's
is.
Alexander
That is
and
Gary.
Waters.
That's our superintendent's dad with his big teeth and hair. He's Alex. That's
Yeah.
Becky's brother. Now look at that. Go back to that picture. Go back to that picture a second.
Which picture? This one?
Well,
we're not. We've
Zoom.
lost it. We've lost it again.
Oh, you lost your picture again?
Yeah.
Oh, probably when your phone rang.
Oh gosh, I got to call him back. No, Bill, look at those bleachers. If you and I tried to walk up those bleachers, they'd find
You know what?
They'd find us
There's
dead
no-
right about in between
No,
there.
Architecturally, now those are illegal.
Architecturally,
You can't have anything like that bleacher. It's not safe.
well, what's the standard?
Well, you'd have to have handrails, number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Look at that gap, though.
Yeah.
I know.
Fall right through.
I know.
You two would fall right through.
We'd die. We'd die. They'd find us wedged right up in here.
Right.
Make it.
We'd
This
start.
kind of looks like a homemade deal.
It does.
Well,
Yeah, those things are.
this might be, is that the old catalpa tree out there at the ball time? I don't know.
I think it is. I think it's at the definitely.
I don't think it's a catalpa tree. It looks like a maple.
No.
Look at the leaves. New hospital being built.
Really?
Yep.
I think so.
Okay.
Sitting down on the far left is John Miller.
Okay. Let's go up.
We got Burl Mills.
Second from
there.
left, Burl Mills, Jim Maxey,
Actually,
Mr. Felix, maybe Bob Felix.
I just don't know. It could be Charles Crowder, not the tall guy, but the next one in dark sunglasses, Roy Hopkins,
Melvin Yost.
Yost.
I gotta get rid of this thing here. Oh, we know that's Monty Ron.
I think you're right. Money Ron. That's the best we can do.
We only get all of them except one.
Becky Barnes Hollinsby says Johnny Miller seated on the left. Mondale Ron, far right.
Yeah.
Dale Kearns, fourth
Yeah.
front right. I don't know. So there's a.
Oh, you know what? It could be Dale instead of, but I
thought
thought it was Crowder.
it looks like Dale Kearns.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
He's
the
a-
darker glasses. Yeah, that kind of looks like Kearns.
Okay.
There's another one of those that we
Yeah.
didn't know.
Well, Red hired and fired this guy on the same day because I don't remember him.
Yeah. That is Red Profits.
There he is again. They were probably introducing him through the newspaper ads. Maybe he didn't
Pontiac.
stay long.
Mhm. He didn't last long.
Look, they all have hats alike.
Okay, second
Gene-
one in
Gene
the back
Carpenter. Gene
is
Carpenter.
Gene Carpenter, one of my favorites.
Great guy.
Yep. And far right,
Bill Roach.
Bill Roach.
I think that's Smith, isn't that
Warren
On the left.
Smith.
Warren Smith on the left? Wasn't Mr. Carpenter a prisoner of war in
Yes.
World War II?
Yes. Yes.
Where was he at? Italy or Germany?
Germany.
Germany.
Yeah.
Gene Carpenter is one of the nicest guys.
Yeah,
And Tracy,
absolutely.
they were a class couple.
Carpenter clothing.
Yep.
Joyce Lewis says Jerry Tagg in the center, question mark.
What?
Right here, they're looking at that one. I don't know if that's Jerry or not.
You can't tell.
Warren Smith was a great guy too. Easy going.
Mhm.
Fat Jack and Bob Hastings. There
That's
you
a
go.
classic picture.
Look
right
at
there.
that.
Charity.
Look at that. Bullet Bob, the redhead, the Red Baron, Bobberino. Had about 20 nicknames.
Jack Wellens, great guy.
Nice guy.
Boys, it's time for you to go home.
He was Beverly Hills Police. You know, you break out a
Yeah.
window and said, "You shouldn't have done that, Mike.
Yeah.
I won't do it."
We talked about Bill
You
Huber
guys
being
go home.
iconic and recognizable from a poor picture. Bob's the same way. You can recognize Bob.
Oh,
Bob
yeah.
is a great icon of Tuscola. We got so many Bob stories, we'd be here till midnight.
Ooh.
Okay,
Whoa.
there I am with Mark Bright standing up there on the right. Let's see if Becky's in this. No, Debbie Hackett's there.
I'm hidden.
Who's this right down here? Is that Debbie?
That's Debbie. That's the Mary Toomey.
Oh,
So on the right is Debbie Hackett. Kneeling down is Mary Toomey. 44 is me. 50 is Mark Bright.
Look here.
Lindsay, Jim Helm just died. Greg Skinner. No, what? No, Skinner's the basketball player.
Well, he had the leg broke, or yeah, from football.
And there's Bob.
He'd had surgery on
Bob
his leg.
Trimble leaning down.
is that your senior year?
I think it's
No, it's your junior year. Isn't it?
no, it's my senior
That's
year.
his senior year.
We either won this either.
I'm on the court. He's watching me dazzle someone.
Yes.
So once again, they're standing up as me. Give you an idea, David. Okay. See that picture? I'm 6'3.5". Look at 50 next to me.
Yeah.
I think Mark Bright might have been 6'6".
Yeah, I think
more.
he was 6'6".
yeah, he's pretty
Lonnie's
big.
24. Rick Gibson. There's Don pointing over. Butch Dietrich. We had this game won, evidently.
John Cox is the manager sitting next to Bob Arnold.
Right now, who's this right here? We know that guy. But look at that Greg Skinner up there with a suit and a tie on.
Well, I think it's a jacket.
Billy
Yeah.
Hoke's next to him,
Now,
scratching
for
his
some
head.
reason,
Billy Hoke scratching his head. Jimmy Helm.
now Jim Helm was on this
He was on the
team,
team.
and he's got that blazer on, but he must have been sick and or
Rick,
injured.
Rick Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Dick Dew.
Looks
Who's
like-
in the leather jacket?
That's Dick Lindsay.
Richard Lindsay. Behind him's
Pandora would be-
Russell Mata.
Pandora would
Russell
be a
Mata.
cheerleader.
Mike
God, there's
Brinkley.
Mouse Cunningham.
Look who's next to Russell Mata. Mike Brinkley.
John Coffey.
Rob Kahneman.
Rob Kahneman.
Uh,
Clayton Harris is up there, it looks like. Butch McCullum.
Butch McCollum.
See, Butch was a manager. See that?
Yeah.
He's got that T on that crest.
Uh,
How
Who?
neat.
Rob Kahneman.
Is Andrea there cheering me on, or can we see? Neat picture.
So that
isn't it?
gives you an idea just how big we were.
Yeah, I mean,
I was
they
six.
were
I was
full all the
6'3.5",
time.
and I was the next to shortest guy on the team.
But the crowd, we always had a crowd like that.
Sold out.
Yeah.
We were rock stars.
What's this?
Speaking of rock stars, where are these girls from?
Paris Holiday Tournament,
Paris Holiday Tournament.
and they're giving away this trophy. See that trophy? They're the big first place trophy down there, Dave.
Yeah.
They barely hold it.
You know who has that right now?
You.
Bill Englehardt.
I've got it.
I gave it to him. I took that. Let's see if I can find this real quick.
I had it in my office at the East Prairie for a number of years.
If I can find the
Who
photo.
was that was throwing it away? Ransom?
Ransom just gave
Jeez,
away.
Christmas.
Come make a donation. Randy Bergerson saw it.
Bought it for $5.
$5, gave it to me, and I gave it to Bill because I don't have any kids, and Bill can do it. Here, I'm going to show you a photo real quick.
That's okay.
No, they can. We got time.
They can see it right there.
Is that the last picture?
No,
Wait a second. Let me.
Mike was going to show a picture, so I moved it over.
Oh, good luck.
The rest of us could see it.
You might have to wait.
Yeah.
A couple of hours.
I'm flying.
Well, he's moving.
The Paris Holiday Tournament star was
Drew Johnson.
Scored 40
points against us.
41.
Was it 41?
I told
when it got to 40, I stopped counting.
I'd guarded the game before when we beat Chicago Argonauts. After the game, I guarded this black forward, and Dave Lofton scored 7 points. And coach said, you just held the Chicago public scoring champ to 7 points. So I'm going to put you on Drew Johnson. Drew scored 41 on me the next day.
Good job.
Well, I couldn't, and in fact, I couldn't guard him. They put Lonnie on him, and then they posted him up underneath, and he's scoring on Lonnie, our best defender.
No, you're not going to find
Yeah, I am. It's just right here.
No, not.
It's worth
you
it.
You don't have any organization.
I have no organization.
Look at all those pictures of Becky.
Go ahead to the next one. Well,
yeah,
he'll come back to it real quick.
Oh, Mike, look at all these pictures. Isn't that something? That's in the old Paris gym, which is now, by the way, a National Historic Site. It has a plaque there now. That gym is a National Historic Site.
That was a neat gym.
Their star was
showing.
Go back to the trophy. Paris' star was Drew Johnson. I got to play golf with Drew about 5 years ago. He was a pro golfer. And he came up, we played at Urbana. And in the back of my car, can you see that?
Hang on. Let me go to the speaker view. Looky there.
That's Drew Johnson, scored 41 points on me. I brought the trophy up to pimp Drew Johnson.
Now we got
this is 50 years later. I'm bringing the trophy up and said, here's what we won.
Back it up a little bit. Yep, we lost it. It's gone. It's off your screen.
No, it didn't. It's right here. There it is. It's right there.
There you go, right there.
That was Paris's ace. Drew just got inducted into the Hall of Fame last year at Paris in football, basketball, and golf, 3 sports. But anyway, I thought that was funny. 50 years later, we're playing golf up there, and I said, Drew, I got to show you something here.
This is a trophy we got.
This is a trophy we took off you guys.
I started playing golf.
I know.
Hey, yeah, we heard that.
You got an Arnold Palmer, didn't you?
My golf game must be improving because all the showering afterwards, everyone kept calling me Arnold Palmer. I don't.
Dave, I thought you said this, but I didn't think you were going to bring that up on the podcast. You just can't help but draw attention to. I mean, Bill and I are showing our greatness. You just got to show your greatness.
Oh, shoot.
That was a wonderful time down there.
Man, that was a big deal. I've still got the gold ball. Do you have your remember?
Yeah.
They went around your neck, or you gave them the girlfriend.
I mailed mine out to the Smithsonian.
I just had to find the right time to work that joke in.
I think it worked.
I think it worked. Back to reality. Let's see who these guys
Looks like the Fullerton grain elevator. But I don't know who they are.
You've probably got names.
I don't have any names on this one.
You know who worked uptown did this, unloading the trucks and everything? Burnout.
Well, look, they don't have much room to.
That's not uptown.
I guess
that looks like the old Phil's or Ficklin.
Oh, I thought maybe it was Fullerton's.
Could be. Although I hauled in there, I think.
Well, they don't do it like this anymore.
No, those days are gone. That's a wagon.
Yeah, that's still got the husk on it.
Yeah, that's the old way. It smelled good. It was great.
There's somebody out there. Maybe the pest guy.
Looks like him.
Yeah, he just put.
Chris.
Yeah. Who would that be?
Country companies. Who worked at country companies? Secretaries. I don't remember.
Well, what's her name did? Bierman.
Well,
Later.
Diane, but that's not her.
Earlier. This is earlier.
Yeah.
Jerry and John Stonecipher, don't know which one, says my mom, Marie, on the left, and Dottie
Marie Shook.
and Dottie Bechtel.
That's Dottie?
Hang on a second.
That is Dottie, and she looks great. I mean, she looks.
Dottie was home for her 60th reunion.
She looks
A
fantastic.
couple weeks ago, and Becky
That's Marie Shook on the left. You're right.
Yeah, and that was Jerry Shook Stonecipher. Married Jim Stonecipher, one of the Stonecipher
married
twins.
John. She married.
You think she married John?
No, she didn't.
Well, her name on Facebook is Jerry and John Stonecipher.
Well, I've always said she married John. You get them mixed up all the time. You're starting to lose it.
I'm losing it. You're right.
Johnny Stonecipher. Well, I don't know who that is.
Brenda McCumber says Kurt Marsh at the desk.
Title company. Yeah.
Now, this is the FBI logo over here on the right.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that's about.
I think he's back in the title company. Douglas County Abstract.
Mm-hmm.
There's Rick.
There's Rick.
Rick was about class of 50, what, 6, 5, 7, 55, 6, 7?
55, probably.
Yeah. There's another mummer. That's the side of the Gus's again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tim Hole said he thought it might be Gene Trimble Band.
Oh, could be.
Well, they did a clown thing. They dressed like that clown.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let's take a look. Hard to see him.
Yeah.
Identify him. That's the old way to do it.
Mike, what kind of tractor is that on the right?
Well, I think that's what they call a John Deere, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of.
I'm guessing. Could be a Massey, Ferguson.
Not a great picture. But anyway.
There's
Bill Betzel.
Bill Betzel ran the bus company. And that's when the tornado went through and hurt all those people. No, Bill Betzel was a fireman. Might have been the chief for a while before Denny. He was a fireman.
Just for historical accuracy, this is not an actual.
I know. I was just kidding. I was kidding.
I know, but not everybody knows when you're kidding.
I don't want to have people get upset about some disaster in the 1960s.
Yeah, this is a drill.
Civil defense.
And back then, if you got hurt, they just laid a sheet over you.
There's an interesting one coming up.
That, by the way, is the courthouse.
Yes, it is. And back when the superintendent of schools office was in the courthouse.
Right.
Yeah, and that was W.A. Bozarth.
The regional superintendent.
There's
Phil White.
Phil
White in the background.
Looks like to me he's hanging that person.
Well, Phil's going to report it like a real accident and get readership. I don't know who this guy is.
I don't either.
Well, this guy's smoking.
Yeah, look at
that. They're violating. He's violating one of the big rules.
That's why I said there's an interesting coming up. He's helping out with a cigarette dangling from his mouth.
Well, there's nothing like a little hot ash in your mouth to wake you up. I'll find out if you're dead or not. There's Mr. Springer, our congressman from Champaign. The Springer
William Springer.
They named
that looks like Kathy.
Kathy who?
Van Dorn. Is that Kathy Van Dorn?
No.
I don't think so, hon. Yeah, if you're going to guess, you got to be accurate.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You don't want to throw Bill Nye's batting average down.
All right.
That's next door to your old home, Bill. No, that's Pembroke.
That's the old Mars home where
down from Kelsey's.
Yeah.
Down from Kelsey's.
Yeah. looking
Pembroke, I think.
looking back southwest. Hop Connor on the far right, I believe.
Mhm.
Well, that's what I thought at first, but then when I blew it up, I thought it didn't really look like Hob, but it could be. It looks
I'm
like
not sure
his.
that's how.
Well, go ahead and blow it up.
Well,
Or you don't.
one thing's for sure, they don't know how to march. They're out of step over here.
Hop wouldn't been out of step.
Yeah, I don't know. These guys on the right are trying to get in cadence.
And just from the body and stance, it looks like Hob, doesn't it?
It's
Yeah.
his size, but hip, hip.
Hup, hup.
I want to be an airborne ranger. That might be Bill. That might be Mike, your neighbor,
Hey,
Payne on the
Mike
front.
Payne standing on the front. Yeah,
Yeah,
looks like
looked like Mike.
Burl Green driving the
Burl
truck.
Green. I don't care. Well, there's Kane. Is that
That's the
Kane?
old Kahneman place.
No. That was right across from northward. You know that green duplex right there on Niles Street.
No, wait a minute.
Niles and Pembroke.
Deanna Huber says 313 Pembroke.
Oh, the little one.
Little one right next
Little
to
one, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I remember when Dave Snyder and Sue lived in that
Yeah,
house.
the Halls live there, Jerry.
That's behind your mother's place.
Duplex,
isn't it?
right.
Yeah.
I saw Dave at the library reception.
Hmm.
Hadn't seen him in years.
Well, that's Denny Shuey on the
Shuey,
right, Wayne Henniger. On the
Henniger.
right side, right to left is Denny Shuey, Wayne Henniger. Not sure. Gary Forster, Tom McDaniel just died 2 weeks ago, leaning forward with a trumpet.
God, this is a brain trust.
My God, the horsepower. On the left, the drummer was Doug Carnine, Nancy Norton, Sharon Green, and is that a
Jeez.
Dumas? Is that a Dumas right here?
Dumas? Yeah.
You had
Oh, geez.
these guys could be running NASA right now if they wanted. These guys and gals. Norton lives in Brooklyn. Last I talked to her, and she is a Princeton University professor of Chinese calligraphy or linguistics.
Linguistics. I think.
Doug was President Bush's education advisor. He was the genius behind Leave No Child Behind, direct education. Tom, leaning forward, was the CFO of a major division of Caterpillar.
Mm-hmm.
Helped build plants over in Scotland, all over the world.
Wales.
Wales. That, you know who that is? Go back. I got the middle guy here.
Is it McMorris?
That's Wellborn. That's Mike Wellborn.
Is it?
Yeah. So Shuey, Henniger, Mike Wellborn, probably was a freshman. McDaniel and Gary Forster. This was my junior year. This is 63-4. Doug was a drummer.
Great picture.
Great shot. Oh boy.
Afloat.
Is that Chris Hill?
That's Chris Hill.
The guy in the baseball cap behind the float, we think is Chris Hill.
Yep.
This is back when we made some really good floats. This was the sixth grader float.
Kevin Connor says that's himself on the left, Chris Hill, and he thinks Steve Bunch.
We'll give him that. I don't know. You just talked to Kevin recently, didn't you?
Steve. Yeah, I just talked to him.
Kevin's a good golfer. Wins
Very good. Muhammad, he's won the senior championship.
Lake of the Woods, he's won
several
senior
times.
championship. Yeah, he's a good golfer.
Love this picture.
He was a good athlete.
I don't know this Bunch
I don't either.
kid.
Mm-mm. Well, this wasn't staged.
No.
This is on South Central.
Mm-hmm.
Just thought maybe you might know some of the people.
That's a telephone pole.
Is this distracted driving?
Well, how'd they get up in the yard?
I wonder what that was all about. Man, I tell you what, they really hit that thing hard, didn't they?
What's the car? Let's see if we can figure the car out. Back up a little bit.
Why didn't their airbag come out?
Yeah, right.
I don't know if they had an airbag in 63-4.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, the airbag couldn't go that day in the driver's seat.
Chicks Road on the far right.
This just looks like country companies here. Stan Cross on the left, Dr. Stan Cross on the left. Chick Road on the right. I don't know who that gentleman is. See Stan, your dentist?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
My wife has a dental story with Stan. You want to tell it?
No.
Becky was a young girl, went in to get her teeth worked on by Stan, and
I thought we weren't telling it.
he was going to inject her with Novocaine. And Becky said she was afraid of the shot. And Stan said, "Oh, it doesn't hurt here." And Stan sat down and let Becky give him a shot of Novocaine.
I don't think it was really Novocaine, but
What was it?
well, he probably put the shot up there and
But you rammed it in, didn't you?
he went, yeah, I guess so, but that's all right.
Your story's changing.
No, it's not changing.
Does Carol Pierce say anything about that picture?
Carol Schroet Pierce.
She identified her dad.
Okay. I thought maybe
Chick
she
was a
identified the
good
people
guy
now.
and a great golfer. One of the local,
Boy, yeah, he
probably about a
good
two
golfer.
handicap, one or
That's her
two.
dad right over there.
Stan right here. Her dad's on the right.
Oh,
Here they're putting in Bill's sewer line. They had to put a 36-incher in. Oh, there's the famous rolling balloon. They would take their hose and try and move that back and forth. They had a hose contest on that. There's Waldrop right there.
Yeah,
There's Bates. Isn't that Gary Bates?
can't tell.
Beto. That looks like Hop down there.
It looks like Hop, but I don't remember Hop being on the fire department.
Well,
He probably would.
Beto was, and so was Waldrop. And that's probably Denny pointed out. Yeah, this was they try and move the ball left and right with a fire hose. Well, I'm saying that's Is that Lutheran Church? I think that's Lutheran Church. And that's Ron. On the far right is Floyd Ron.
This was when they opened that church, I bet. And these are the
it's
elders and or the whatever.
Well, I know
Deacons.
Floyd Ron's on the right.
And Tim Hole says Vicky Ron, third from right. Pastor Hurley, third
Yeah.
from left.
Yeah. Yeah, that Vic Ron's the other one.
Hmm.
A lot of German Lutherans. Okay, now we got.
Oh, there-
now we're here.
There we are.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I told you
Man.
there was one coming up.
Yeah, there it is.
Whoa. Name them off, Becky.
Maureen Deaver,
Left
Kathy
or
Van Doren, Lois Kleiss, me, Janet Wright, Martina Bridges.
wow.
Too much beauty at once.
Yeah, I mean, Bill and I have to go take a break.
Yeah.
Holy
I
cow,
think
look at that.
You've thrown my arrhythmia off again.
Yeah, Bill's got to go double up on his warfarin.
What's that car in the back?
Well, that looks like over there to the left. Looks like about 38.
You know
or
where
40.
that is? That's that lady, Gladys Gill,
Mhm.
at her place on Enzy Street, where the Kidwell boy lives now.
Oh,
Nick
yeah.
lives now.
Where the Morans,
Yeah.
Shorty Moran lived,
Well, at one
Right next to
time
it.
maybe, but Gladys Gill lived there. She
Yeah,
was the
well,
old
then-
librarian.
and right down in here should be Harold Waite back in there with an old.
Well,
back.
you can't see it.
I'm
but
trying to
it's-
figure out how you can tell where that is.
Well, by the tree. You see the way that tree shaped?
You recognize the pavement?
Yes, that you get marking.
you just don't know how many times we just.
If you drive around Tuscola 3 hours a day for 73 years, you get to know the road and the trees. There's the mummers. That's second from right. Is that Myron Pangburn? Second from right.
That's Myron. Somebody's probably put names on this. This is Wayne
Oh.
Supp.
Wayne Sipe, back row.
That's Doc Gailey. Isn't that Doc Gailey?
Yeah,
It
that's
kinda
Morse
looks like
Morse
him.
Gailey. These guys were the kitchen crew for something.
Masonic Lodge or something.
When we had a parade, everyone marched.
Everybody. There's nobody to watch the parade, in fact. Well, that looks like. Who's picking their
Ben
nose?
Franklin was
Who's
there.
picking their nose back there in the
Oh,
middle?
God,
They catch me picking my nose.
probably.
Ben Franklin.
That's not young Jim Higgins, is it?
No, I don't think so.
I just want to throw that out. Is that from? Is that Willis from?
No.
Okay, so I
I
threw
don't
a
have any
couple.
names. I thought I'd get names on this.
Well, that,
Somebody's playing the organ on the back of a flatbed truck.
well, you get 5 points for that because nobody would ever guess that's the back of a truck or that she's pounding an organ.
Whoa, right here in Tuscola.
Oh, carnival.
Carnival.
Susie
Yeah.
Bowles Kingery says it's the paratrooper ride, her favorite ride, especially at USI picnic.
Oh, yeah, those are great.
They had USI rides downtown.
I don't
They used to have
remember
big
that.
out in the park. They
Yeah,
took over
north end of the park.
They took over the whole
Oh,
park.
they did. That was great.
Okay, now you're going to throw a hard ball at us. Can you give us initials?
I don't have any names on this one. This was a picture of a picture. So who knows how old it is?
Cute little brother and sister.
Yeah. That's Swihart.
Oh,
Swihart, the youngest of the Swire girls.
possibly.
You know, the one married Toby Ring.
Married Toby.
That's
I
younger sister.
can't get,
Gina Mazzell says Colleen Weir.
which is Colleen's wife.
Colleen Swihart. Yeah, her older sister married Toby Ring.
I think.
We think. Bill's guessing. Well, there you go. Let's guess where this is.
Well, you know what? Give us a little time and we'll tell you where it is.
Give us till tomorrow. That's my grandma's alley, but well, he bounced off of it real quick.
That looks like Deb Kenny.
It does look like Deb Kenny.
Did you want to see that one again?
Yes.
Yeah.
See that brick house back there?
Well, I know. Where in the world is that thing at?
Oh, that's Sarah Jane's.
Corey's. That's going down.
Yeah.
Your dad, if you go back to zoom and make it smaller, there you go. That's the alley. Sarah Jane Corey's on the left. Across the alley is where Monk and where Bert Englehardt lived.
Yeah.
And Bill first got married, lived upstairs there, and they had to.
I
They
think
got kicked
that's
out.
Sarah. I think
That looks like Sarah Jane's.
We got kicked out. I think that is Sarah Jane's.
That's the Main Street back there. And
But is this picture reversed or something?
No, they have
That could be.
They have White House along that block over there. What's her name? Who was the secretary? Mrs. Wakefield lived over there.
Sometimes it's hard to tell the orientation of the picture, so occasionally I get one flipped.
Well, the roof looks like a Spanish style roof.
But that is Deb Kenny, I think.
Zero in on the roof back there, that back house. See if that's
No,
Spanish.
it's not tile.
That's Spanish tile.
Uh,
Huh.
Don't know who's working on the line.
Hard to tell from that angle.
Yeah.
that's not Deb Kenny up there. This is an old picture.
That is an old picture. Get the guy on the spade back there. The house is this Park Street?
Guy on the spade's Hop Connor.
It looks like Hoppy, a young Hoppy.
Does look like Hop, doesn't it?
Well, here, that's Gaylord Swihart's old house right there.
Well, I think so. And that's on.
This is where Libby and Steve fixed up.
Right.
That corner. This is the corner of Court Street and
Somebody put a porch on it after that.
yeah, well, Steve did wraparound porch.
He put a wraparound
Newkirk?
porch
No, it's
corner of Newkirk and
it's
Court?
Newkirk and
Center
Court, I
Court.
think.
Newkirk.
What's the street between? Well, that's Court Street.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Court Street and Newkirk. Yeah,
Swihart's lived next door.
God, they
That's
changed
Gaylord.
that house, didn't they?
Yeah.
Gaylord Swihart's brick house over to the right where they lived. We believe.
They're trenching.
And
That's Aldridge
It's
House.
Spark Street.
This is Aldridge
You got
lived
Aldridge's versus, and then there's that Aldridge house was Preston,
Mhm.
Tobias Preston. And then this house is right on down the end of the block. The house we just saw is the next block down. And that's Tobias Preston's house right there. a white one.
What were they taking this line for?
Well, just something to do. The city guys were bored.
And that's it.
Well, that wasn't too many.
It was quite a few this week. Since we
Yeah.
didn't have last week, we thought I'd double up on this week.
That was fun because you threw us a lot of unusual ones that I got right, and I tried to help Bill get some of them.
Oh, we had Becky, and then we had you and Bill in the same
But
picture.
honest questions. If I wasn't here talking, would you know that was me in those pictures?
No,
Nope, nobody does.
I did. Bill
I did.
Well, yeah, but when you look at me, you still see me with hair and thin.
Well, you didn't have much hair back then.
I didn't. I was going.
You know
bald.
what, David? We were looking at pictures of some of these class reunions that just took place for homecoming.
yeah.
Some of those people have really changed.
David, my sophomore year, I've told the story. I think I don't want to repeat.
Oh, I can't
I
imagine
can't
that.
either.
You know, some people with Alzheimer's kill people they don't like. Ed Alexander, and a couple other Louis Leeds, a couple of tough guys wanted me to take me to the Illini Theater, and my job was to buy the tickets because you had to be 18 years old to get in the Illini Porno Theater. So these seniors stood back there in their tea jackets. I went and bought the tickets, and the woman goes, "Are you sure those guys are 18?" I said, "Yes." And I was a sophomore. I was the buyer. She was worried about Ed.
Yeah.
And Louis Leeds. There was another roughneck with us. I forget who it was. So I was in charge of buying tickets. The film was overrated. It featured Arnold Palmer, or should I say Dave?
Yeah.
Dave, how's your cigar doing? That's a good cigar. You've been working on that for an hour and some.
This is my second one.
Oh,
Oh,
no wonder it's looking so good.
Yeah.
Show us a photo of your ash on that one.
This one's a Cohiba.
I'll tell you what,
Oh,
your
yeah.
taster getting a little finer. You used to smoking these fine cigars, Dave. You can't buy the dollar ones anymore.
I can't smoke a Swiss or sweet. No.
No. My dad was a big El Producto,
That was a good cigar.
White Owl, Dutch Masters, El Producto. What were the other ones?
El Maco.
Emerson, El Maco.
Jim Benner smoked El Maco black. Man, they were black.
Look at this. Cohibas.
These
Yeah.
are all Cohibas. Churchills.
Oh my gosh, those things look so good. Bill was a pipe smoker, Captain Black.
Yeah.
When did you
All
quit?
right.
David, should we wrap it up so you can get it posted?
Probably should. Anything else?
We had a lot of fun doing it today.
Yeah, nothing like a week break to get you back in the mood.
Yeah, we had some good pictures. So
Keep
All
it
right.
up. Keep it up.
we'll
Thanks.
see you. And thanks to Elite Builders and Trust Bank for sponsoring us. And we'll see you next week.
Appreciate it.